Questions?
Dmitry, congratulations. Can you just sum up your emotions having come through that and retained your title and defeated Zurdo for his first defeat in 45 fights?
Of course, I'm glad that I'm first who beat Zurdo. 44 fights he won before, and now I'm first who beat him. And it means a lot for me. I wanted to fight him 3 years ago, and now I did it. It means a lot for me. I proved.
Did you feel as if it was a dominant win? You felt comfortable throughout?
Yeah, I felt comfortable. It was not super victory. I'm glad for maybe 70% because I didn't expect for him that he has good timing. You know, he's slow. I see his punches. He's slower than me, but he has a good timing. You know, when I threw punch he just counter attacked on my body, and this is good homework.
Were you surprised, Dmitry, that you were able to push him back? You being, I guess, by weight, the smaller fighter, you were the one pushing him back, pressing the action?
No, I in sparring session I try to push forward because I know he threw a lot of punches. When you threw a lot of punches, it means they are not strong. You know, they are easy, and you can push your opponent. If the opponent don't throw too much punches, it's hard punches. He moves forward. It just rules in boxing.
Were you surprised he wasn't able to go to the body with you as much as other opponents?
I didn't surprise because I expect that, and he punched me many times for body. It was good punches.
Was there any point in the fight where you wanted to step it up and maybe go for the knockout, the stoppage?
Был момент, где ты хотел еще добавить и, может быть, попытаться накрутить.
Yeah, I saw a couple moments, but he has a good defense too, and he tried to counter punch me, and yeah, I saw, but not every time you can finish.
One thing, the strategies were totally different. Basically, your style, your defensive style was impeccable, it was perfection. That I saw. I didn't see Ramirez with the right strategy on the fight. It seemed like curving, and you were like attack going, you know. How did you feel with your style and his style?
Типа, почему я шел вперед, как я чувствую, да, по стилю.
Да, и защита была на самом высшем уровне. Как ваши стили?
You know, why I think a lot about defense? Because when I was a kid, my father took me on the boxing, and every time when I won fight and got punches in the ring, my father every time arguing with me, and he was yelling on me. He told me if next fight you will fighting and you got punches, I threw the towel. I don't need a kid who got punches, you know. And since my childhood, I think about defense, you know. And what about I just tried to be close to Ramirez all fight, to be close, you know, every time to keep him in the focus, you know. Every time I wanted that he would throw punches and spend his gas.
I think I read a lot of comments on Twitter and just talking to a lot of people here, and we all felt that you looked better in this fight than you did in the Canelo fight. You looked a lot sharper and a lot faster. Do you feel that?
Are you serious? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You look sharp. You looked very sharp.
Yeah, I try to be better every time. Thank you.
But did you feel that you felt better?
I feel just different, you know. It's two different opponents, and I felt that I won fight. Couple rounds I tried to give him, but take his energy back, you know. But I'm glad.
Abu Dhabi vibe.
Dmitry, what do you think of fighting in Abu Dhabi? How was your experience overall fighting here?
I'm so happy that made a fight in Abu Dhabi, one of the first big fight in Abu Dhabi. I'm honored that I fought here, and I hope. I love boxing. This is, of course, I love football and other sports, but boxing is the best sport in the world, and I love if the main sport in Abu Dhabi will be boxing. I love to come to England where boxing born. I love to fight in Vegas, everywhere. No, it's great when people love boxing because I think this is gentleman sport, and it's great sport, you know. And I showed my skills in Abu Dhabi, and I hope they will make more boxing events with Eddie, who's really, I think, the best promoter in the world.
I think your last 4 fights, right? Abu Dhabi, Las Vegas, Russia, England.
Yeah.
And what's your plan next for Dmitry? Is it that Canelo rematch?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty obvious. Dmitry Bivol's about legacy and about belts, and he wants to become undisputed. That is his absolute main focus. Obviously, from my side, we want to make the biggest fights possible. The Canelo Alvarez rematch is a very big fight, but the priority for Dmitry is to be undisputed. However, if Beterbiev fights Yard in January or February and then goes into Ramadan, then he probably wouldn't be ready to fight Dmitry till June, July, whatever. So, you know, we have to look as a team. We also talk about the possibility of Dmitry fighting Canelo at 168 for undisputed. I mean, he could fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 for undisputed. If he won that fight, he could fight Beterbiev in his next fight for undisputed at 175 and become 2-time undisputed champion in 2 fights. But I have no idea if he can make 160. I don't know. I mean,
Stop.
But you know, that's one for Vadim and those guys. But
Eddie, we have to just confirm all this with Frank Smith.
Yeah, Frank Smith's the principal promoter. But I know just I want to say one thing though.
Sounds
right?
good. Sounds good.
What you have to understand
Good plan.
about this is that for a long time, you know, the amazing thing about this journey is that for a long time we really didn't know where the opportunities would come for Dmitry Bivol. You know, like, we've worked with him for a long time, we've worked with Vadim for a long time, but there were times when we felt a little bit lost. We didn't know where the direction was, and where was he a draw, and he was so good that people didn't really want to fight him. And you know, and Vadim always believed in us, said, I know you'll deliver, and then COVID came, and then he had to take a fight for small money against Craig Richards behind closed doors. And it was, you know, there were times I was thinking, I don't know, like, they just said, just give him the opportunity, he'll show everyone how good he is. And really, that opportunity, and you have to thank Canelo Alvarez, because he gave Dmitry the opportunity. Even though he was fighting for his belt, that was the fight against the pound-for-pound #1. And Canelo Alvarez picked Dmitry, no one else would, and said, I think I can beat him. Which shows everybody how great they both are, because they wanted to fight the best. Now he fights Zurdo, now you're talking about Beterbiev. It's amazing the turnaround, and that comes from belief from Vadim and Andrei Rybinski in Dmitry Bivol, and also in us, that eventually we'd deliver. And it feels really good now to see him fight Canelo Alvarez in Vegas and Zurdo in Abu Dhabi and make a lot of money, right? Which is, you know, he doesn't like to talk about that, but this is a tough sport, a dangerous sport, and it's our job to make sure that these guys get rewarded for taking part in this sport. But although Dmitry wants, like every fighter wants the best deals, he also wants a legacy in the sport. And I think he's now, the problem is he was so good, but his profile wasn't big enough and people wouldn't fight him. Now he's a pound-for-pound superstar. So now people like Abu Dhabi are supporting him, bringing big fights here, Las Vegas, we're at Russia, there's massive opportunities for him there. So it's been an amazing turnaround, because honestly, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I didn't know where these big opportunities would come from.
Dmitry, how realistic is it for you to make 168, just talk about getting Canelo for the undisputed down there? Is that something you really think you could do, or is it a case of you're the champion at light heavyweight, people have got to come up to you?
When I was amateur, I was fight against, first of all, against my weight and 75 kilos, and second against my opponent. And I decided that I don't want to make weight. But in the pro, I work with some nutritions, and I learned how to make weight easy. And before this fight, I had a dinner. You know, before this weight in, I had a dinner. I had a small breakfast, and then I came to the scale and showed my weight. I think we could talk about it. Of course, I told it before, and we could. It's not my prefer, but we could.
And also there is a chance that Canelo might say no. He might say, I don't want to, you know, I lost at 175. I want to. So look.
If he does, Eddie, and let's say the end is busy, you mentioned the Craig Richards fight there, like for small money. But obviously there are people like Carl Smith, Joshua Buatsi in the UK, where Dimitri's profile has gone through the roof. Is maybe a big UK fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, if there's no Canelo, if there's no Beterbiev, he's gonna want to fight. But it has to now be. It's not just a case of now Dmitry Bivol just fighting. He's going to want the right deal. He's going to want the right opponent. He's going to want the right plan. And voluntary defences are nice, but they're not legacy defining. And you know, that's what he wants. But he's still got to stay active. So look, he's got Beterbiev, he's got Canelo. You know, loads of options. Buatsi, Callum Smith, maybe. But I do like, you know, you're right in that he could fill a stadium now in the UK against a British fighter. He could also fill a stadium in the US. He could go back to Abu Dhabi. He could go to Russia. So the options are all there.
Eddie, given Canelo's hand injury, would he be ready in May for that rematch?
I spoke to him the other day. He said he can't punch for 2 months, but that was a week ago. So I'm guessing he could punch at the end of the year. I think he'll fight in May, but obviously subject to how the hand is healed.
Do you know when you guys will find that out?
He said he can't punch for 2 months. So yeah.
After you'll check up?
Yeah.
Dmitry, is Frank still your favorite, or is Eddie in your good books now?
Фрэнк все еще твой любимый, или сейчас Эдди тоже у тебя на хороших счетах?
No, Eddie, you are good. Thank you. But where is Frank?
I miss him.
Yeah.
I remember he was supporting
With Canelo.
with Canelo.
I know.
Eddie's, like, Dmitry already said what he thinks about Eddie.
Yeah.
I think just to kind of support that, I think.
No, Eddie and Frank, they are a team, and it was joke, of course. They are together. They are bad and good cops, you know. For me.
The whole team of Matchroom is very, very professional, and it's always a pleasure working with everybody. And
this is my one.
A long road.
Hey Eddie, just thinking of, since we've seen so many fights not happen, and Beterbiev being with Top Rank ESPN, would that be a challenge to make a fight with him?
No, I don't think so, because at the end of the day, we're not going to stop Dmitry Bivol for taking that opportunity through a TV situation. You know, there's an easy deal to make there with Top Rank and DAZN. Maybe we speak to DAZN, you know, and say, could he ever fight on ESPN, or vice versa, I don't know. But at the end of the day, DAZN have been very good to Dmitry over these last couple of fights, and obviously we want to stay and support them. There's a dual broadcast, there's other options, but we don't want to get in the way at the same time. I think that's a real problem with boxing, that the broadcaster will stop a fight from happening, and DAZN have never really done that. I mean, they're new to the sport, they're fresh, they haven't yet been tarred with the bitterness brush, so they tend to accept that fighters want to make the big fights. And listen, Dmitry Bivol against Beterbiev is an unbelievable fight. Unbelievable fight. 2 Russian fighters for the undisputed light heavyweight title. And I have to say, being honest, a year and a half ago, I would say that on paper, Beterbiev was a favourite in that fight. Not anymore. I honestly believe Dmitry Bivol is far and away the best 175 pounder in the world. And as good and as dangerous as Beterbiev is, I do not believe he will beat Dmitry Bivol at all.
Dmitry, how do you feel you match up with Beterbiev, and why do you feel you beat him?
Because I believe in my skills. I could beat him, why not? And I could lose. It depends on my preparation, it depends on my mental. I could lose to Ramirez too, but I try to do everything right on my camp, and I try to believe in myself. I try to be focused on the fight. And why not? I have a good defense, I have a good combinations, I have a good boxing skills. why I couldn't beat him. Of course I could.
What
I
do you-
just need good training camps, good sparring partners, and I could.
Because he has this aura that like he's a monster, he's a Terminator.
Do you remember what people says about Canelo? We are all people, not monsters. Someone stronger, someone faster, but we are all people.
Any chance of a rematch against Ramirez?
Against Ramirez?
No.
To be honest, I don't want a rematch with Ramirez. Why? Why I need it?
He won every round. He did really. I mean, I know they gave him. some consolation.
Thank you, but not everyone.
did.
But
You did. They give consolation rounds here.
thank you. But it's not interesting fight.
True, isn't it?
Yeah, they were saying that.
Do you want to see the fight against Ramirez again?
No.
Why?
They said that Ramirez was a much bigger fighter, a much bigger guy than him.
Yeah.
That he was gonna.
He was, but
outbox him.
the problem is
He got points for
Dmitry Bivol's feet are so good that when you go on the attack, when you get in position to throw, you look up, he's not there. He's out of distance. That's why I had Anthony Joshua next to me, Joshua Boazzi next to him, and they were saying the whole fight, they watched him like, you go, wow, like you can, he was standing on the foot. I saw that.
Did you think the stoppage might be coming, Dmitry? You landed a lot of clean shots a few times, like there was a few good flurries, you caught him on the chin, you caught him on the temple. Did you think you were going to get it done inside the distance?
Ты ожидал, что все-таки остановят бой, или что ты сможешь его нокаутировать и хорошо попадать?
No, I just enjoyed in the ring. I just have had fun, and I saw I got him sometimes, but it wasn't too dangerous for him to stop the fight.
Dmitry, the fans were shouting your name during the fight. Did you hear that, or were you so zoned in, so focused that you block it out?
Did you hear the fans?
The fans were shouting his name.
Ты слышал болельщиков арены, когда выступал, или ты был сфокусирован?
Usually I hear it, but on somewhere far, it don't bother me at all. It's my name or it's the name of my opponent. I try to be focused on his eyes, on his team, how they feel.
More like, for you, what does it mean to finally get your just due, your respect for the skills? Because I know also you were criticized early on about maybe being a little too methodical in the ring.
Он говорит, что бывало такое, что где-то критиковали, что очень методичен в бою, где-то очень, может быть, ждешь.
Yeah, you can't do every time what people want, to be honest. If I do everything what people want, maybe I lose меня самого, myself, And I know I have a good defense, I have a good movement, I have a good combinations, sharp combinations. I try to do it, and I try to people like it. I don't wanna say bad words about my opponent, but people wanna hear it. I wanna show respect for people and just say by actions in the ring, and I wanna people accept this from me, and I hope one day they accept it.
That's a good way to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, world light heavyweight champion.
Thank you so much.